The today's topic what we are going to discuss here is the parliament and the central government. Let us look what are the provisions that entitle for us to make a parliament. You know, the parliament is the main house of the body which provides laws, rules and regulations of the land of India. Let us remember that when we were discussing about the lesson in the previous part, the constitutional lesson, the constitution has provided the framework that we should go and adopt the parliamentary form of government rather than any other form of government, because already the Britishers have ruled us for 200 years and we have experienced an institutional setup of democratic system. So most of the framers of the constitution decided that we shall go ahead with the parliamentary form of government with some changes which are necessary for us. So the constitution has provided the provision for us to frame the parliament. The parliament is framed and the members of the parliament are elected by the representatives, they are considered as the representatives of the entire people in the nation. For every area we have a parliament representative. In the same way, parliament is representing the entire nation's people, and within the state we have the members of the legislative assemblies known as MLAs, who represent the entire state or a community group in the entire state. So as the Prime Minister and President are the key posts of the system, Parliament also has a vital role. The party which is having powers in the Parliament or more number of members in the Parliament only and only can take over the charge of the government. And once the party proves its majority in the Parliament, then the leader of the house, whose party is having more number of seats, will in turn become the Prime Minister. Then the President approves it. President was bound by the advice of the Prime Minister later on to take the Council of Ministers. So let us in detail discuss how does the Parliament work and what is the duties of the central government and how can we understand the state governments. Let us work on this in detail in this lesson. I think when we are seeing the channels, we have seen many channels like Gemini TV, ETV, Ma TV, all these channels. Also we have a TV known as Lok Sabha TV, where the live telecast of the sessions will be telecasted through the Government of India. The Parliamentary Ministry of Affairs looks after all these things. In this process, we can look after whatever is happening in the Parliament through the channels, which means it is shown to all the people in the nation what's happening in the Parliament. The Parliament is the house where the laws are framed which are necessary for us to do or to run the government in various subjects. So the people have every right to know what's happening in the Parliament. Parliament is the house where even the Prime Minister can be questioned by the opposition leader. So we have various powers in the Parliament. Let us go in detail with step by step. Now moving on to the concept of how does the Parliament make laws. See, the Parliament makes laws on the subjects which are related to the entire nation. For example, it makes laws on these topics known as forests. How are the forests to be guarded? What percentage of land can be used for grazing of the animals? We have specific forest laws, and it makes the binding for the government to follow the laws which are framed in the Parliament. Then moving on, mines. The mines, how are the mines? Mines is a national property. The nation makes laws in the Parliament which belongs to the entire nation. So in these mines, how the mines have to be used? Who owns the mines? All people in the nation are the owners of the mines. So on behalf of all the people, the Government of India owns the mines and regulates that the mining has to be done properly, and the benefits which are getting through the operation of the mines should be distributed to all the people. That is the reason why government frames laws on the mines. Then moving on to the most important aspect, that is education. The aspects of education. How should the education be here? We have an example of the 1986 Act or National Policy of Education, known as NPE, where the framework was done that we should have a systematic pattern of education like 10 plus 2 plus 3. That's 10 years of schooling, 2 years of the intermediate course which connects them from pre-university course to the university course. Then you can do 3 years or 4 years university course. This pattern of 10 plus 2 plus 3 or 10 plus 2 plus 4 has been fixed by the NPE in 1986, which makes sure that the education in the entire nation and by all the universities to be followed in the same pattern. Then we also have one more law which was passed recently in 2009, that's the right to education. Is officially known as RTE. Through this RTE Act, which makes ensure that the poor people or the lower class people are compulsorily provided free and fair education, which is must by all the schools, which means that it is ensuring right to education to all the citizens of the nation. So like this, the parliament makes the laws which are binding on the governments, either it is on the state or on the like the state governments or the central governments are supposed to follow these kind of guidelines which are followed by the parliament. It is must. This makes sure that these all are done. In this process, we have the parliament making laws. Now, how does the parliament make the laws? Parliament has two houses. Let us discuss what are the major issues in the two houses. What do we call those two houses?